Well, thank you guys for coming. This is crazy to me. I'm not, and please bear with me. I'm not a great public speaker. I'm getting better at it, as I need to be getting better at it. Can't even believe I'm up here, but I think like a month or probably a year and a half ago, Josh asked me to do something like this, and I was like, no, absolutely not. I won't do it. And then I think he got to know me, and he's like, yes, girl's an idiot. She shouldn't do it. So bear with me if I trail off or start shaking or fainting. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Actually, it's funny enough, I don't like attention like this, which is crazy because y'all are like, right? So, but I like I like it on Twitter. I like it on the internet because it's very predictable the type of attention you can get. I never wanted to, like, you know, a lot of people get bigger on Twitter and then they're like, I want to be a speaker and like travel around to do speakers. That's not me either. So this is out of my wheelhouse. And now I'm going to perform the vagina monologues.
Yes.
Would that be so funny? But is that okay with that?
I'm blind. Can I read?
Alrighty. So
Nice.
it's kind of how like Twitter's been for me though. It's like a one-person show. Obviously it's all me. I produce all my material. And I know it's cringe. I know it's really cringe sometimes. But that's my brand. And you guys appreciate it. And you let me exist with it. I know you've all seen some posts probably and been like, good lord, you know.
Just at
I
work.
get it. I get it. But yeah, you know, they're not all gonna be winners. I gotta like rapid fire them sometimes. I just wanted to see, by a show of hands, who knew me off of Twitter before meeting me in real life? Handful. And then I know there's a handful of people who don't know who I am. They're like, who's this girl up here?
What's Twitter?
Pardon? It's okay. There can be total like involvement here. This isn't super formal because I'm not super formal. So I just kind of, when Josh asked how to do this, I'm like, well, what would I talk about? Myself, of course. So it's like kind of give you the story of how I got into Twitter. So at the end of 2019, I kept getting banned off of Facebook, and it wasn't even for political spicy stuff. It was for other spicy stuff. But I loved Facebook at the time. I had it for a long time, and I kept getting banned. So I was like, what's the point? But towards the end of 2019, I did kind of wander into the realm of like, I guess there's Liberty Facebook side, like there's Liberty Twitter. So I kind of been introduced to some stuff at that point during 2019. And then right when the COVID stuff first happened, like literally that week, I got doxxed from Facebook. It's a history with me. I've been doxxed before. So I got doxxed, so I like deactivated off of Twitter right then. I still haven't been back, which stinks because I have like pictures of my dog on there and stuff. I wish I could get back, but so then it was Twitter. So then I got into Twitter. And obviously I spend a lot of time on Twitter, okay? So like over the last 3 years, I know it's not healthy by any means. I know it could be a problem or an addiction, whatever you want to say. But like all functional addicts, I use it for good, okay? So I wouldn't be here without it, right? That's always my excuse. It's like my life now is what happened because of it. I love Twitter because there's a code to crack, and there's a code beyond. Obviously, there's the marketing people and the trending people and the like things to do to make sure something makes it big. But there's a different kind of code to crack, in my opinion, that's beyond the propaganda. And that's kind of like the reason I still don't understand like why my account has started building when it started building. But it's just saying what you want to say and like tapping into this code. So I'm a totally very normal person, and I just live out here in Colorado, been vibing. So when all the COVID stuff started happening, you know, when I was losing friends, and all I was doing was just talking and asking questions and researching for myself on things. But I loved how during the beginning of all that, as we know now, the Biden campaign and the FBI were banning people and censoring people for whatever, and they still are. I know a lot of my Twitter is worse now. Like I feel like I'm surprised I still have my account right now. I don't know what's going on. I got like some protective bubble around me, I guess. But like during all of that, we all found the correct info on Twitter. Like there was so much information on Twitter. That's where not that all the information is on Twitter, but that's where the actual experts, the not government funded, the people who actually had things to lose and nothing to gain, experts were at, and that's where they were talking. I was I'm trying to remember what that one group was. Rational Guard, I think they were called. Does anyone remember? Like Ian Miller. There was like a group, but they were putting out the actual information during 2020. So blah blah blah. Sorry, please forgive me. Everything we found was the correct info, and we were all saying it the whole time, and doesn't even matter that we were correct now, of course, but I was thankful at that point because I did start to follow the liberty-minded accounts and finding a new community because I lost all my friends. So I know you all know the video I made in May 2020 where I'm like looking out with binoculars. If you've never seen it, I basically did just a video mocking these people who are snitching on neighbors, and that's where we were going with all the COVID stuff and the mask stuff and all this, and it was May 2020 and things hadn't quite got there, but I saw it go in there. So that video was like a video shit post. Sorry to cuss, but that's what you put the title, right? Brock is Mr. Forrest Mom, and he's like, don't cuss tonight.
Cuss.
So eventually I started following the Liberty account and being like, okay, I'm not crazy. What's going on is crazy. So I started showing up. Oh, and then in October 2020, so I had started on Twitter a group chat that I have. It's still around, called Mile High Motherfuckers. I started that in 2020. It's kind of grown and shrunk, and people come and go, and like if anyone else wants in, it kind of has like a limit sometimes, so I have to start over, but let me know. So I started that in the summer of 2020, and in October 2020, which was right about when they were about to do another lockdown, if you remember, I met with a couple people that was the first time I met with Twitter people in person. It wasn't Liberty people, it was Liberty-minded people, but not from the party or anything. And I'm still friends with all the people I met, like Jordan, if everyone knows Jordan, who is our comms guy in LPCO. He came out that night, and then he kind of got involved at the same time as I got involved, and he's been great. He came out to every house party. So I started meeting with people, and then I started throwing house parties and meetups and stuff. Well, that was while everything was still crazy lockdown. So building my own community off of Twitter, which that's been the biggest thing for me over the last couple years, is just building community, finding people that you, even if you don't agree on everything, you can agree on like what was going on with all this stuff, that it was wrong. And even now I found with my campaign I'm running, which I'll get into that, but I found GOP people even who were following me already on Twitter. And I felt like I had to explain to them, hey, I'm a little crazy, and they're like, we follow you, we know you're nuts, like we like you. So like it's been a way to kind of reach across a lot of different aisles in a lot of different ways for anybody who wants a smaller government and who just wants to bully the government. So then I started showing up with more LP stuff. I think I showed up at the 2021 convention, and I didn't know anybody, but I was there. So it was kind of interesting now how things are. But yeah, it says that was a big blessing from Twitter too. So I don't ever recommend to be on Twitter as much as I'm on Twitter. As I said, it's a problem, but I've just convinced myself I'm a volunteer Twitter analyst. So over the last 2 years, I never went back to any normal for my life. I know most people didn't go back to normal, but there's nothing normal in my life anymore from that time. I never went back to anything that I used to do. Well, some stuff, but the stuff that took up my life, I don't do anymore. I used to do a ton of volunteer work. They discriminated against me, so I left all that stuff. But like I said, I'm finally going to have a nice distraction coming up when I win my city council race.
Oh yeah.
So, like an idiot, I signed up to run for city council in Arvada, and I would not have ever done that without Twitter. I would never, ever, ever have done that. And then because of what happened with all of that, I was hoping to just get on the ballot, but it blew up because of Twitter and because of garbage that happens on Twitter. It set into motion a lot of stuff this year, a huge catalyst of things happening. So, shitposting. Shitposting is what I would say is saying things in a way that makes people try to think about it differently, think about it in a way they don't think about it, like simple taxation is that most people don't think about it that way. I mean, it's simple, we all get it, but like for other people who haven't been exposed to that, it's like, oh, you know it, you're right. So that's kind of what I see shit posting as. And being able, like I said, that video I made as a shit post, obviously it can be like trolling, and sometimes it can make people mad, but at this point it doesn't matter. We're trying to get people to think, and just gonna say lately I love that we bully our Colorado government so hard. Like, we have got this group together now that we just like go after them, and like they said, I got Polis who his private account follows me, which is weird, but well, he follows a bunch of us, his private account. He's like, he is a libertarian. Anyway,
I
so
want what you're taking. I want some of what you're taking.
I know. No, but he quoted Hayek, so he was a libertarian. That was so weird. That was some inside weird stuff going on. Because how did he know about Mises Caucus? Like, that was weird. Anyway, so one night I was just like, chilling, and I was like, oh my gosh, I bet you, if most people know about the story about Johnny Hurley in Arvada, and I know I know the family's been fighting in the city, I know you guys know the family, they used to come here all the time, and so I was like, I wonder if Polis has ever even said anything about Johnny Hurley on Twitter, and I've recently learned how to use the advanced search feature now, 3 years. Now I'm like, gonna go after everybody now, and just delete some posts from mine too. Anyway, so I searched, first I searched how much his 2 accounts had said George Floyd, tons of times. And then I searched how much his account said Johnny Hurley mentioned anything, nothing, not a single one. So, of course, being me, I said something about it. I made a post about it, and the most, Bruce, who's Johnny's friend, was like, well, he was at the funeral, and I said something like, well, wow, cool, like, and then the Jared Polis's private account, came up and was like, Johnny Hurley was a hero. So that's, the exciting things about Twitter, is all the, connections you can make to people like your governor. I don't think anybody else ever gets through to their governor like we do. There's something cool here in Colorado, especially with Twitter, we're, getting through to these people. So a trick to, shit posting and all this is obviously being on Twitter too much, and observing. You can see what people are saying. You can see the Pavlovian responses starting, because people are so trained. Everyone thinks they're so smart, and they're not. It's just FYI. I see people baited, and I'm like, how did you, not get that was bait? What did you, sorry. I was gonna say, don't fall for the bait unless it's government people. They bait us, but I don't care. That's not falling for the bait, because we're just we have to talk to them. What's her face yesterday saying that HOA foreclosures are wrong, but property tax foreclosures aren't. She's like, nah. Someone said we need to end property tax too. And they're like, nah. So it's just these people suck. They're not impressive. So keep bullying them on Twitter.
I would have been friends and influence people.
Sorry. I think some of the things about shit posting, part of it too is if you want to have a audience, you need to appeal to a lot of different people, which that's just, especially spreading the message of liberty, we all need to be appealing to a lot of different people. Good ways are obviously talking about politics, but also talking about pets, and also doing all these things. Maybe being a little sexy.
Yes, you do a little bit sexy.
It's maybe helped out in the past. But yeah, it's just kind of observing, and there's so much that goes on Twitter that is I call it magic, and I'm still calling it Twitter right now. Thank you nobody for saying it's X. Thank you, it's Twitter. If everyone, I don't know if people notice that when Act Blue people are if you notice it, all the Act Blue, if you don't know what Act Blue is, it's the left's campaign, billion-dollar campaign industry. And
grassroots.
It's the grassroots industry. That's, the Adam up in going against Boebert. His grassroots, he was saying that it's an out-of-state PAC that's not grassroots at all. So, but they all post at the same time. They'll all post something similar at the same time. Especially things like, it'll always be something like abortion or some other loaded thing, and they all post it at the same time. And there really is power in it, and this is why these people are winning, because like there's so much power in like the propaganda. It's even the hate sharing is all part of it. It's all the bait. It's all part of it to like make their message stronger. So that's kind of always been I've always just kind of tried to make my message as loud as I can for being just a girl in Colorado. But yeah, and then it blew up, and then obviously, if you guys, most of you probably know, I got doxxed by a certain gentleman that works for 9 News. It was like 12 hours after I filed for my campaign. So that he actually got me probably a good 10,000 followers by doing that. So thank you, Jeremy. And obviously, I didn't want to have to like fundraise for the campaign, and like I said, I just wanted to get on the ballot, and he kind of he made me have to actually like really work for it now and do a real campaign. So it's been interesting, and yeah, I don't know, kind of that's probably all my like speech part. If anyone wants like questions, I never do ask me anything on Twitter, but I also tell everybody everything all the time, so I don't know. Otherwise we can just go back to drinking and hanging out.
We can do some questions. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
We'll go to Brandon and then Rodney.
Tell us about your bans on Twitter. Like, what got you banned?
Okay, so my first ban was the Forest Mommy account, which I have back now, and that supposedly the ban for that one was because I put an artistic nude in the profile picture. So you cannot put anything in the profile picture or header, and it wasn't raunchy or anything. So that's how that one got banned. And then I had that other one, the Desert Daddy one, or Terminator Mommy, and I had that one for almost the whole year. I know, it's just its own machine now. But so that one got banned in August, and I think that one. So me and I do a podcast, and I have a co-host, Hex. If people know who Hex is, and he got into it with someone on Twitter, and I think whoever he got into it was flagging us, and then so that one got banned, and that one got perma banned too. And then I had a couple that I tried to make, but they kept banning me. So from like August to January, I really didn't have a solid Twitter account, and it was really sad and depressing, but it was also okay probably too. But yeah, and then in January, after Elon had took over, I have all the accounts back now, but I'm just using the Forest Mommy one. So. I can't. Like I said, I can't believe I'm not banned again because everybody's getting banned. Like LP, like it's crazy. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I know you've probably heard this before, but I'm gonna say it again. What are we gonna do about the 30 minutes that's missing from Johnny Hurley's video? If you're gonna get in there, can we find out something?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing, because I was talking with Aaron and stuff, and I'm like, well, maybe we can start a little coalition kind of thing to get between the city and the police and all this. But Arvada police is having a heck of a time right now too. They're like 30 officers down. They already paid out a couple lawsuits for other stuff, and they obviously Johnny Hurley's their suit is up in October, so. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. That's the whole thing. And so on my yard signs, I put Hero Hurley too.
I don't mind defuncting the police.
Well, and that's like, let's do something better. If something's not, because they lost the police officer that day, and they lost another police officer recently, and then they lost the police chief. He left because of it, And there's just, and they were fighting body cameras too at one point. It was like, why would you fight to not wear body cameras? So
I know why.
Yeah.
Love you too, baby.
Alright, so we all know that Twitter, or X or whatever, Twitter, is like the most positive place in the world. It's great. How do you stay so level-headed when there's like so many haters like talking stuff on Twitter?
Well, I mean, being hot helps for sure. I know, that's why I say like it's good that I'm in this position and have to take all this hate because it's so stupid, but I think just because I have a good life, I have the receipts of being a good person and a good life, and if they can say that, like I was accused of child porn, like liking child porn, I've been accused of like all sorts of crazy stuff, but I don't know, I think the support from everybody else who lets me be me, and just knowing that like I know I'm not that bad, like I know but I'm not that bad, so that helps.
I want to tell you, you're doing great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Applause, come on, applause. If you want to get over any speaker anxiety, join Toastmasters. Just go to a meeting or two. You can come here to the Toastmasters, it's every other Saturday. You don't have to pay to get in, you can come as long as you want.
There's no MLM spiels either?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not, absolutely not. And the other thing you can do is like I do every time, get up to speak for 30 seconds. Anytime you do that, you get used to being in front of people and you just don't care.
Yeah, and I
what
need to
they
get
say.
to that point, because I can do all sorts of, I've done some things online that everybody saw, that like I totally have no shame over, so like, it's, I don't know.
Shameless. Love you.
Are you good at asking for help?
Depends on what kind of help. I'm learning to be better.
And what help would you need for your campaign?
Just door knocking, especially because I don't want to do it I don't want to do it alone, just for safety's sake. In my neighborhoods, are fine. There's some neighborhoods I feel okay, but yeah, if any dudes especially want to come out with me, Saturday, I know I'm hitting my neighborhood, which is like 500 houses, which I won't get the whole day. But if anyone else come out with the Jacob might be there, and you want to come, and Lynn from AFP is going to be there. I don't know, you probably know Lynn. So I met with her yesterday. She's like, yeah, it's great. So yes, I do need help. And when it gets closer to phone banking, definitely use some phone banking, and yeah, that's about it. But the door knocking.
Fundraising and things along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, you can always give me money, but you know, I think once I'm going door to door, that'll kind of, because all my kids, it was funny. I was talking to the guy who's running for mayor in Arvada, and he was like, "Well, when we look at that other girl's finances, it's all from out of state," and I'm like, literally all of my all my donations are from Twitter and out of state, so it's like hilarious. But now I think with the door knocking, I'll get some more local stuff.
You need more money.
I need more money.
I need more money.
So speaking of, have you found any way to monetize the fame that you've gotten on Twitter? Like any sort of regular income? And talk about some of the podcasts that you've done or didn't do.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I actually have my own podcast, which I started like August 2021, I think, and I never started it just like speaking and being like I never want to speak, and I didn't really care to make money off my podcast. They are monetized, and I would say I probably get like $200 a month from my podcast and stuff, so that's kind of cool. So that's technically monetized. It's nothing crazy. And it's not regular because it depends on who's watching, and it's just from people giving tips. So, but yeah, I've been on a lot of other podcasts. So it's been pretty cool. That's another thing with Twitter is you make these there's famous people I know now. It's like you just gotta connect with whoever. And so some bigger podcasts have had me on were like Chrissy Mayer, and she's awesome. On her Simcast, she's had me on. Recently, I've kind of been with, I don't know if anyone watches Revenge of the Sis with Royce and Marsh. You really should, because they're like Liberty adjacent, and they're hilarious, and they're actually just really good role model kind of dudes without being role model kind of dudes, and being crass and stuff. And then when I got doxxed, people probably know the story of Jesse Kelly uninviting me. And I actually was invited on Timcast too, but they kind of let it slide. So we'll see. I think if I win my race, they'll probably have me back. And I'll talk bad on Jesse Kelly all day, every day. But Timcast, I won't, because they've had some of our people on, and I like Reed really is a a grassroots real dude. So I like that. I won't. That's fine. Although they're always Jesse Kelly and him too, local politics, and then they never have any local politics on, or anybody who's doing anything local. So I don't know. We gotta make our own way. That's kind of how I've always been. You can't beg for attention. You just have to get it the way you're gonna get it. So.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's Forest Mommy. So, and there's more of them on. I put more on Rumble lately, and I actually haven't done as many. I have a regular Sunday show, and then every other Thursday show, and then some random stuff. We have a gentleman out here in Colorado running for trying to be a LP presidential guy. So. What's his last name?
Robert Sansoni.
Sansoni, that's right. So, and he has really cute dogs. I don't know if you saw his dogs. But so I did a little interview with him, but I think people are crazy to go for the LP presidents, but more power to them. So,
Are you taking any steps to prevent getting banned or to compensate or deal with it if you do get banned?
Not really anymore.
Any other social media?
I mean, I have a podcast. I have, I still have an Instagram. There's technically a Discord that someone else built for me, but I open Discord and I like cry. So I'm never on my Discord because it's like, I don't get it. So, yeah, but it's good that's it right now. And I'm like, if they ban me and I do get elected, then I can probably like just make an elected official one and just only talk about that kind of stuff. So, be
Boo.
appropriate on it, I know.
Any last questions back here?
I just have a quick one. So, as someone who's currently going through the Twitter appeal process for having a Liberty account with a few hundred followers banned, any tips on how to navigate that as someone who's successfully gone through it?
Well, so when the appeals I did win sometimes, but then I got banned again anyways. But the appeals I did win, I have a friend who's like technically my producer, and he knows if you can really write it in a legal way, that's how he went on. But and when I got strikes on YouTube too, I got I think 2 of them taken away because he wrote it very legally. And but otherwise, I don't know, because even when I was banned for a while, it was similar to yours, like with the appeals didn't matter. I mean, the Forest Movie account, I appealed, I'm sure I sent probably 300 appeals in a year. Like, I was going crazy. And then it did, they wouldn't even get back to you for a while, and then when Elon took over, it all just changed, so.
Yeah, I got 5 to 7 days.
Okay.
We'll get
But,
back to you in
well,
5
and
to
did
7
it
days.
make you delete? Will it tell you to delete a thing? Is it telling,
It hasn't asked me that yet.
just it gives you an appeal?
Yeah, it just said I could give an appeal, I can say why I didn't violate the rules, but it didn't tell me why my account's been locked.
Just like LPCO, like, and they can, like we were saying too, like they'll say you break the terms of service and they won't tell you how.
Exactly.
None of my accounts were ever told why. I mean, the Forest Mommy one I figured out, but then the other ones they never told me. So.
That's our talk. Give it up
Well
for
done,
Jessica
Jessica.
Metzi. And in honor of Jessica, I just want to say, don't let your sparklers go out. Spark by Irreplaceable Spark. Keep the sparklers alive. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll be back in 3 weeks. Matthias von Gutenberg will be here. We'll be getting back to our roots, talking about libertarian ethics. So, drive safe, have a good night, and keep fighting the state.
Come get the
Thank you, everybody.